Hello ladies, I want to talk to you today about a subject that's close to my heart in terms of people's health, and it's one that I've heard a little bit about. Well, I've heard a few people talking about it recently, and I don't think we appreciate just how important it is to our general health, and that's the subject of sleep. So I overheard somebody saying in one of the classes recently how they felt tired and how they'd noticed some of the other ladies were saying last week that they felt tired. And is it just that time of year? Is it the clocks going? Well, the time, the days shortening, the nights lengthening. Obviously, we'll be having the clocks changing at the end of this month. It's that time of year where you start to feel a bit more tired. But I want to look at what can be the causes of people feeling tired and having energy slumps and things. Because it's really, really crucial. It's an important part actually of weight loss. If you're not sleeping properly, it completely changes your hormone profile. So lack of sleep can be a detrimental thing when it comes to weight loss. But also I think just for general happiness, and we're about that a lot in Fit Mums. Not just about what the scales say or how your clothes fit, but how happy you feel and how good you feel inside. And if you're feeling tired all the time, you feel crap. So firstly, it's important to think about how many hours of sleep you're getting, so the quantity. The ideal hours of sleep are kind of between 10:30ish in the evening, obviously, and 6 to 6:30ish in the morning. Those are your kind of optimal hours for sleep. You can get the same number of hours at different times, so you could go to bed at 1 and get up at 9, but there is a lot of evidence that those hours before midnight are important. I know it's a kind of an old wives' tale that 1 hour before midnight is worth 2 after or something, but there is some truth in that for the different processes your body goes through in sleep, the mental reparation and the physical reparation. But you will know, I think the optimal hours as well, the quantity is around 8 hours, but you will know, and that's an individual thing, how many hours of sleep you feel good on. So the first thing is quantity, and when you're getting those hours. Now, this is just a personal thing, but we as a family have found that we all function better by going to bed relatively early. So you'll find Dan and I in bed from about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at the absolute latest every night, whether that be in the week or at weekends. Makes for an interesting night out when we do go out, because we're so kind of programmed now to be going to bed at that time. But that's what suits us. So we get up around that time of the 6:30ish naturally, but it means our energy levels are consistently high during the day. And if you are going to bed a lot later than that, then, and you are feeling tired, if you're not feeling tired, it's not a problem. But if you are going to bed a lot later than that and you're feeling tired, then it has to be worth trying to claw that sleep time back. And if you're going to bed at midnight, don't try and suddenly go to bed at 10 o'clock, because it will completely change your routine if you've been going to bed at midnight for a long time. But try to ease it back gently, like a 15-minute earlier one week and then another 15 minutes earlier the next, and claw it back and back until you are in bed nearer the 10 o'clock slot, and see how you feel on that. As with all of these things, it's a personal thing, and everything will affect each of you differently. So it's a case of trying different things and seeing how it fits for you. Sleep as well, which isn't a problem at this time of year in a blacked out room. The light that goes through our eyelids and onto the back of the sensors at the back of our eyes, again has an effect on other hormones that cause you to wake up. So, well, actually they suppress a hormone that causes you to stay asleep in this case. So if you have got light coming into the room and you're trying to sleep, it will have an effect on your sleep quality and it will wake you up. So make sure if you've got street lights outside or anything like that, you've got blackout blinds or something you want to make your bedroom essentially as dark as possible, so that the hormone profile within you is optimal for staying asleep. Make the room a temperature that you're comfortable at as well. So if you're cold consistently in bed or you're too hot, do something about it. Change the tog of your duvet. Make sure your radiators are on or off, whatever the problem is causing you. But if that's something that's consistently causing you not to sleep well, then take control and change it. A lot of us, I didn't do this till recently, a lot of us don't invest much money in our beds. We can have mattresses that are lumpy and old and have been around for 20 years, and sheets that feel scratchy and that kind of thing. We spend how many hours a day in our bed? 8 hours a day. I mean, it's like a third of our life at least in our bed. Yet we can be real scrimpy asses when it comes to making it somewhere we want to be. So for goodness sake, if you can, invest in making sure that your bed is nice. So, the softest, most comfortable bed you have. Many places now do guarantees where you can swap the bed if you don't like it, and do that. Soft sheets, duvets that are comfortable, pillows that are comfortable, all of that. You can wear, if your partners snore, that's been something I've come across quite a lot talking to other ladies. It's not a problem for me, but if your partner snores something, invest in earplugs. I find them incredibly uncomfortable. But, take actions to try and cure the husband's snoring. I know people have tried the pressure bands on fingers and the nose strips, all kind of things. Keep working until you find a solution on that, because if your partner is keeping you awake, again, it's going to make for a grumpy you, which has, repercussions elsewhere. And if your quality of sleep is poor at the moment, but you're working to improve it and you're shattered during the day, then take a power nap. I think a lot of the time we feel it's almost a sign of weakness or a sign that we can't cope if we have to sleep during the day. But in other cultures, it's something that's done routinely, and it's not even considered, it's not even thought about that you wouldn't have one. You want to be ideally power napping for less than 20 minutes or over an hour to avoid that groggy period where if you have somewhere between 20 minutes and an hour, you'll wake up feeling like you've been hit by a bus, and it will take you, a good couple of hours to get back awake again. So have a really short one or a long one, depending on how much sleep you've got and how much you can afford to have. But if you need one, take one, and it will pay dividends for the rest of the day. If you don't do that, you'll find that your performance and your cognitive function will just continue to decrease until you've addressed that lack of sleep that you need to address. Getting to sleep, one of the key things that stops us from getting to sleep is, I've got my computer sat in front of me at the moment, electronic devices. So if you are on your iPad or your laptop till late at night, or you're on your phone, which is quite common till late at night, the wavelength of the light given out by these electrical devices is not optimal to you, snoozing off and having a good restful night's sleep. There's an application called Flux that allows you to change the wavelength of light that comes. So it's taking it from that bluey light to a more orange light, which is a lot better in terms of stimulating our brain activity. And actually the iPhone now, I don't know if it's the new 10 upgrade, I think it was one before that actually, there's a setting on it that allows you to change, you can Google it, allows you to change the wavelength. So now mine's set that it automatically changes later on in the day to it has kind of an orange hue. You can do that on your phone, you can do that on your iPad, you can do that on your laptop. Any electrical device you're working on, I'd suggest that you change it into what's effectively known as a nighttime mode, so that those few hours before you go to bed, you're not stimulating your brain in the opposite direction to what you want to. Be careful with stimulative activities as well. So if you're exercising, don't be exercising till, 9 or 10 o'clock at night and then going straight to bed and expect yourself to be tired. Physical activity is great for sleep, and many fit mums comment on this, and I love the fact that they do, that they sleep hugely better once they get into regular exercise. But you're exercising with us at 6 in the morning or 9:15 or 7:30 in the evening, so you're not exercising around night time. If you are at the moment exercising 9 at night, then you want to shift it earlier on in the evening if you can. And substances, things like caffeine, are there to keep you awake. So we'll have different sensitivities to caffeine, but if you drink caffeine in the afternoon or the evening and you are staying awake, the first thing I would do is switch to a decaffeinated brand and see if that helps you. If you enjoy caffeinated drinks, have them in the morning and don't have them past lunchtime, so that they're out of your system before it comes to sleep. Another thing that is hugely important that people don't realise are our thoughts, our mind, okay? And again, it's a hormone cascade that we promote in the body when we are feeling a certain way before we go to bed. So keeping something like a gratitude log, or watching something amusing on telly, something to lift your spirits, to make you feel good about things before you to go to bed, has a positive impact and a positive effect on the hormones that help us sleep well, to sleep quickly and sleep well. Stressing, worrying, being in what we call the sympathetic nervous system, side of your nervous system, are not things that are conducive to a good night's sleep. So think about making yourself feel good, making yourself feel loved, making yourself feel grateful for the things you have in your life, feeling content, happy, anything like that are the feelings you're aiming for. So you know what elicits that in you. Writing a gratitude log, even recognizing the things through your mind that you've achieved in the day, that you've enjoyed about the day before you go to sleep, can hugely help. What else? Any pain or discomfort, of course, any physical pain is going to keep you awake. So if you're enduring that pain at the moment and you can do something about it, so you could see a physiotherapist, you could see a chiropractor, you could see somebody, go to your GP and get referred, something to help you with that pain management, then that's obviously something huge you can do as well. Okay, there are sleep aids you can use as well. So you should be getting enough magnesium in your diet, and I've spoken about this before. Magnesium is important for a million things in our body, but sleep is included in one of those. And magnesium is something we are increasingly finding it hard to get from our diet simply because of the way vegetables are farmed these days. So I would recommend a magnesium supplement for everybody, because 80% of the UK population is now deficient in that mineral. I take it daily and I spray it on my body after exercise daily as well. Well, when I exercise as well. So make sure you're getting enough magnesium. Lavender on your pillow is a good one. I don't know if you've seen I think it's Travelodge or Travel In. They give you these little spray-on, roll-on things that you can spray on your pillow before you go to bed. And lavender is known for its sleep-inducing properties. And certain herbal teas like chamomile tea, tulsi tea, I use Neal's Yard's nighttime tea and calming tea. So I drink my echinacea tea in the morning because it's good for boosting your immune system. And I drink the nighttime calming tea Neal's Yard calming tea and nighttime tea in the evening, because they contain a mixture of herbs that again promote sleep and promote relaxation and calmness. You can get things like calms as well in supermarkets. They can be useful. And another supplement, 5-HTP, can be useful because that converts to serotonin, melatonin, the types of things that are important when it comes to sleep quality and quantity. So if you want any more help on that kind of thing, let me know. And then the last question is, if you are getting to sleep easily, but you are finding that you are waking in the night and not being able to get back to sleep, especially between those hours of kind of 2 to 4 o'clock, you really need to start to look inwards to find why it is you're waking up. That time of waking is an indication that there's some kind of stress going on, a stress that you will either be very aware of or a stress that is not particularly apparent to you, but believe me, there's something going on. So if you've got some kind of emotional turmoil, you're not happy with your job, you're not happy in your relationship, you're not happy with your life in general at the moment, you can pretty much guarantee that will wake you up within those kind of hours and you'll find it difficult to get back to sleep again. So that's a bit bigger than the scope of this message, but that's something for you to have the strength to look inside yourself and ask you some questions about what you're unhappy about and what you can do about it, because none of us need to be unhappy about anything. We all have the power to change things, and it's having that belief in yourself that starting to take some positive steps will change what you're not happy about, and improve many other things in your life apart from your quality of sleep, but that will be hugely benefited as well. Like I said about the stimulations we give to ourselves before we go to sleep have more of an impact on our ability to get to sleep in the first place and this waking time, but they can create brain activity that can wake us up later. So we want as little stimulation as we can get on those hours before bed. We need kind of like a bedtime routine that we are so hell-bent on creating for our children when they're small, but we don't even consider for ourselves as when we're adults. One other thing actually it's worth mentioning is your gut health, because that is so key to everything. But serotonin that you need for sleep quality is 80 to 90% of that is produced in the gut. So if your gut isn't healthy and you're not producing enough of that hormone, that could be another reason why you're finding sleep a challenge. And again, that as always comes down to good nutrition, eating all of the foods we talk about all of the time, the clean, lean proteins, the tons of fresh vegetables and fruit to get all those micronutrients. And in a lot of cases, probably some probiotics to readdress that gut flora. Because if your gut isn't functioning well, it's probably indicative that your gut flora is out of balance. The bacteria in your gut aren't populated in the way they should be. So a course of probiotics could see an improvement in health, provided you're feeding yourself well. If you're taking probiotics but you're still eating a diet that's full of sugar, you're working against yourself when you do that. So if it's something that you've tried everything else, you want to, but you're having digestive issues, could well be that your gut's not producing the serotonin levels it should be. And as a bonus, away from sleep, if you're not producing serotonin, you won't be feeling happy. So boosting your serotonin levels is going to hugely make you a happier person anyway. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. But I just wanted to say that sleep is a quality and quantity, sufficient of both, of sleep is imperative to our well-being as a whole, really. It affects our energy levels, and that's what this blog started off talking about, the fact that if we're not getting a good sleep, we'll feel tired and we'll feel meh. But also it will make you a miserable person if it continues. There are lots of things that we can change about our sleep, but it's starting to understand what the issue is. Is it overstimulation? Is it that my bed's uncomfortable? Is it that I'm in pain? Is it that my gut health isn't good? Have a good think about these things. Is it that I'm unhappy in my life at the moment with one or multiple factors? As soon as you start to make the smallest steps to change those, you will feel empowered, and your sleep quality will improve just from the fact that your body knows you're doing something about it. Okay, I hope that helps at least one person, hopefully more, and I will leave it at that. Any questions, of course, you know to contact me. All right, speak to you soon. Bye.